Time for Spins Sports Scene, and today, what more can we say on June 2nd? The weather is very strange here in the Northeast. Should reach a high of about 55 degrees, and what a better day to plan for your next outing with CT Better Bounce. CT Better Bounce is at ctbetterbounce.com, and 203-710-5311 will get you your CT Better Bounce fun, where you can rent water slides, rent bouncy houses, and rent giant dunk tanks, along with slip and slide. Everyone can have a great time, especially as we inspect what's going on in the world of sports with Spins Sports Scene. And don't forget too, you got giant popcorn makers, you got cotton candy machines, you got giant snow cone makers, you got everything you possibly want to have a great time with your CT Better Bounce. So that said, what happened yesterday? The Yanks surprised a lot of people, including myself, as they came on strong and beat Felix, the King Felix, in his own castle, where the court was cheering every pitch that he was throwing in the first 3 innings as he mowed down the Yanks, but then ran into trouble in the 4th and the ultimate crisis in the 5th, where Mark Teixeira touched him up for a grand slam. And before you know it, the Yanks were walking away with a 7-2 victory over the Seattle Mariners, a large part because of the great pitching by Michael Pineda. Puts in 2 good performances in a row after 2 shaky ones, but he's still pitching really well as he struck out 9 and got him all the way through to the into the 7th inning. And then the bullpen took over, and that was the end of the Seattle Mariners, and that keeps the Yanks, or gets the Yanks, in sole possession of first place one more time. Like I said yesterday, 35 out of 55 days will make it 36 out of 56. The Yanks are in first place in the AL East. And speaking of first place in the Eastern Conference, how about the National League? The Mets knocked off the San Diego Padres behind hard luck pitcher Andrew Cashner, who is now 2-8 despite having an ERA of not that much above 3.0. But it was Jacob deGrom calming the group down, getting a good solid shutout as the Mets won their first game on this West Coast swing, and they won 7-0. Great effort by the Mets to pull that, and like I said, that pulls them even with the Nationals for first place in the NL East. The other ball team that we keep a close eye on around here is the Boston Red Sox, and they were rained out in their first game back after a long road trip as they faced the Twins. But that'll be made up at some other time, and that will be determined at another time. So the Red Sox wind up tying, if you will, or not playing. And the Mets and the Yankees wind up winning. And the other news is the NBA, where Mr. Hoiberg, Fred Hoiberg from Iowa State, his teams had fallen rather hard in the tournament, but yet he lands the job, and he will replace Tom Thibodeau as the new Bulls head coach. And they're going to announce that today. A lot of stuff going on in the NBA, swirling around, as I mentioned before, with the head injuries. It's Klay Thompson this time. And then they were wondering whether or not the protocol was met by the neurologist as to whether or not he is really cleared to play in the Game 1 on Thursday night in the Oracle Arena against the Cavs in Game 1 of the NBA Finals for 2015. That's going to be an interesting view to see what goes on there. And, of course, you got the NHL, the Lightning, and the Blackhawks set to drop the puck tomorrow night up there in the Amalie Center, where the Lightning have pulled off some really great playoff wins. In all fairness, they beat the Red Wings, the Canadiens, and the Rangers in successive series. And if you notice one thing about those 3 teams, yes, you're right, they're part of the core 6. They're part of the original 6 in the NHL. Just to give you a little background, it was Toronto and Boston and Chicago, who they do play now to win the Cup. So they would be one of the ones, I don't know when the last time that's happened, it'd be interesting to look that up, to win a playoff series, to win the Cup after knocking off 4 of the original 6. That would be something to look into, and that would be quite the feat. But I don't think they got a shot. I don't buy Bishop. I don't buy his goaltending abilities, and I also don't buy Tampa's ability to play with Chicago. Chicago has a lot of weapons. Rangers didn't have it, and Chicago could play defense with the best of them. According to statistics, Tampa was number 1 in scoring. Chicago was number 1 in defense. So it's a matchup of the Titans in that area, and we'll see how all that shakes out. The NFL, Adrian Peterson, pretty much fait accompli. He probably will stay and play in Minnesota. He can't wriggle off the hook. His contract won't let him do that. It was CT Better Bounce that brought you this little chat as we wrap it up. CTBetterBounce.com. Call 203-710-5311. Talk to Anna, and we will talk to you later.